Are you looking for a self-watering planter that's just big enough to fit inside the house, maybe in your kitchen on a counter? Vego Garden might be the ones to check out. Hello and welcome to Kim's Cozy Corner. I am going to share with you today some of the Vego Garden products. I have 4 Vego Garden metal raised beds in my outdoor grow space. Maybe you don't have room for a big metal raised bed in your grow space. Maybe you just have a tiny grow space. And Vego Garden has several other self-watering products out there. They have this one here, and I've done a video on this particular product. This is the self-watering rolling tomato planter, and it's self-watering, so water is in this compartment, so you don't have to water that often. And Vego Garden has sent me 2 other self-watering products that we're going to talk about today. This is for larger trellising type plants, so I can put cucumbers in here. I could put tomatoes in here, or I don't have to use the trellis and I could just use the bottom part without the trellis, but you could still put a much larger plant in this container here. But now Vego Garden has some smaller self-watering planters. Here's one of the minis. I think they call this the self-watering mini planter pot, and it has a teeny little trellis on it. Isn't that the cutest thing? As well as the next size up, this is the herb planter box with trellis. And so 2 additional Vego Garden type planters. Now I plan to use these indoors, but I just happen to be outside today, and so we're going to put this second one. So I got a pair of these as well as a pair of these here. So we're going to put those together. We're going to get these potted up, and we got to figure out what we're going to put in them. But I wanted to show you some other options for a much smaller scale garden, whether you're talking herbs or the little mini cucumbers like I've grown before, or if you have a little more space and you want to grow some larger plants. I just wanted to show you all the different self-watering planters that Vego Garden has to offer. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to put this little baby one together. So the last time I did this, I didn't follow directions very well. So this time I put one together so it'll go a lot faster. But we will put this little one together first. It comes in this really nice sized box here. And this was a 2-pack. This is super simple to put together. So this is 2 pieces. So this is what's going to hold the water, and your plants are going to be in here. And this sits right inside, but there is a way for it to go. So there's a notch here, and there's a notch in the bottom. So you need to make sure you put it back together properly. So you have that there. You're going to water from the top right here. Here's the little tools that come with it. Or I should say the little parts that come with it. And you need no tools to put this small one together. No tools whatsoever to put it together. You will need a screwdriver for that one. Now they do come with instructions to tell you how to put it together. I've already followed the instructions perfectly the first time, so I know what I'm doing already, but follow the directions. If you read the directions, it'll go a lot faster. So we're going to put the trellis together. It also comes with the little water meter here, and it goes right in here. And it sticks right in there so you can see how much water's in your planter. So there's the first little ring. So there it is. Let me put it right here so you can see what I'm doing. So we're going to add the next layer. Now we're almost done already. That's just how simple these are to put together. Gonna put our little legs on. Add it to the planter. And this planter is ready to go. Wasn't that quick and easy? And I can grow my little herbs in here. I could grow some micro dwarf tomatoes in here. I could grow some of the dwarf style cucumbers in here, the ones that are self-pollinating, so you don't have to worry about pollinating. So we have options for these two containers. I forgot to put the little bottom on. I forgot that piece. So this goes on the bottom of your little water measuring. It goes down in the hole here. And now it's fully put together. All right, so now let's put this one together. All right, so the good thing about this trellis is that it's already a single solid piece. But in here, all of the parts for the herb planter are in this box here. It comes with instructions just like the other one. And look at that. It comes with the screwdriver that you need to put it together. Everything you need in one place. Well, let's go in order. The first thing I'm supposed to do is put the bottoms on, which are the little legs here. We're going to put that on right like that, and we're going to have to screw these in. So let me get the screws out. Screws come in a little container right here. And it's only 4 screws, so it's not like you're going to need to get a drill. I mean, if you have a drill, maybe that'll work, but the 4 screws are right here, and they're giving you the screwdriver you need to put it in. Now, I found this the easiest way. I like to put the screws in like this, put the screws right into the little holes, and then line it up. And then you just take the screwdriver and you screw it in. Anybody can do this. You don't have to have a lot of mechanical skills to do this. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So I got the legs on, and now we will add the next pieces. There's the little watering. Measures how much water you have in there. I'm dropping my parts. I did have to choose a windy day to do this. And now all we got to do now is just put the trellis on. Super simple. The hardest thing is to tighten up 4 screws. That's the hardest part of this whole thing, and that wasn't hard at all. Your 4 corners for your trellis. There are 4 legs. And all we need to do now is just put it on. Now you do need to push it down just a little bit so you know that it's all the way in, and that one is ready to go as well. So now we have these 4 self-watering containers that we are going to get filled up with some kind of goodness. So let me go grab some plants, and then I'll come back and I'll show you what we're going to put in these planters and what we're going to add to this larger planter as well. Okay, I finally made my decision. I know what we're going to put in all these different containers. In these 2 minis here, we are going to put peppers, and these are orange yummies. And these seeds were 10 years old, these yummy peppers. They're orange snacking sweet peppers. So we're gonna put some orange yummies in this one here. We're gonna put red robin micro dwarf tomatoes in this one here. And so this teeny little trellis is just enough for a micro dwarf tomato. In this one here, we're gonna put some oregano and let that oregano really spread in here. We're gonna put marjoram in this one. And then in this one, we're gonna put a true black brandywine indeterminate tomato. So I'm gonna get these all in here. I'm gonna add just a little bit of Mycos. Mycos I add for all of my transplants. So anytime I'm transplanting, I'm going to add just a teeny little bit of Mycos to the root structure of the transplant. So yellow yummy, micro dwarf tomatoes. And the reason why I think I can put these peppers in this one is because I've grown these yellow yummies now for about 3 years or more, and they don't get that big. So I think that's perfect for this little bitty container right here. There's my orange yummy. The red robin doesn't get any larger than about 12 inches. It's a micro dwarf tomato. It's cherry or grape style tomato. And so we'll put that in here as well. And I'm going to bury that one kind of deep. Micro dwarf tomatoes, they stay very small and they can handle small containers like this. So there's that. Moving on over to this container here. And we're going to put oregano in this container here. And I started all of these from seed indoors, and honestly it's just now warming up outside to a point where I can put this kind of stuff outside. But ultimately these mini containers, these self-watering mini containers, I'm going to put them in the house eventually. But it's a beautiful day outside, and so I want it to work outside. Okay, I thought I had 2 oregano plants, but I only have 1. So I'm going to put it right in the center. And we will just let it spread and just take over this space. I don't know. I might plant seeds on either side of it eventually. But for today, we're going to just put it right in the center. Might as well take that soil. This is sweet marjoram. And there are, I think, 2 plants. Yes, I have 2 plants. So we'll put 1 on either side. Now one of these 2 plants don't look so hot, but the other one looks great. So now I'm moving over to the other side. And in this tomato self-watering planter with a trellis, I already have some cucumbers growing in the corners. And I am going to try to do cucumbers and tomatoes in this one space. So if you've never grown tomatoes or transplants of tomatoes, I like to bury them super deep. I try to bury at least 2/3 of the plant if I can. And it just builds just a stronger root structure. I started this from seeds indoors several months ago, and this plant looks amazing. I would have paid, I don't know, $5 or $6 for this at the big box store this time of year, and this plant is gorgeous. And it's mine. I grew it from seeds. and it's a true black brandy wine. And I need to dig deeper than that. There we go. So if you notice, I have everything you need for a nice salad. I got my tomatoes, I got my cucumbers, I got peppers over there. And if I want to throw a few herbs on there, I got some herbs too. The only thing missing is lettuce, and I have that everywhere else in the garden. So the only other thing that we need to do with these is water them in. And I'm going to do the watering in of these inside because that's where they're going to be, and I don't want to spill water trying to get them in and out the house. But this right here will let you know when it's full and when you need to add more water. Since these are self-watering, I don't have to worry about watering them every day, every other day, probably about once a week, maybe once a week on these. Same thing for this one here. This one's going to stay outside, and right now it is full. It has all the water it needs in it. And when I dug down for that tomato plant, I reached soil that was nice and damp. So I don't need to water this one. This one's already watered in. We will add water to these when we get inside. But these are some really nice self-watering planters, and they're just big enough if you just need a few fresh herbs for your cooking, or if you just need a few tomatoes to go into a salad. They're the perfect size for someone who's working in a very small space. Now, if you're interested in any of these self-watering containers, there'll be a link below that'll take you to the Vego Garden website, and you can look at all the different self-watering planters that they have available, as well as their metal raised beds and everything else that they have. So the link will be below. It'll take you there, and you can see all the different colors as well. I believe this is called olive green or sage green, I can't remember, but it comes in multiple colors. I just happen to like the green. That's it for the Vego Garden self-watering containers. You can pick yours up at the Vego website. Thanks, and I'll see you back here again real soon. Bye.